Hello, I'm Daniel, and welcome to the Emunah Project. We here at the Emunah Project are continuing in our series of videos with respect to information, education, inspiration, guidance, advice, and I want to continue with the stories of the Seer of Lublin. This would have been Yaakov, Yitzhak, HaLevi, Horowitz, the Chozeh of Lublin, the Seer of Lublin. And at one point, a disciple of his, Rabbi Heschel, Rabbi Heschel of Komarno, was in his presence, and all of a sudden, the Seer of Lublin says to Rabbi Heschel, I think, why do you never look up the rabbi of the city? Lublin had a rabbi Azriel Hurwitz, not Horowitz, like the Seer of Lublin, Hurwitz. Why don't you go see him? You would do well to go to him from time to time. And Rabbi Heschel was very surprised because this Rabbi Azriel was known as, his nickname was Ayznkop, Ironhead. He was not only very stubborn, very knowledgeable, a Torah scholar, but a bit stubborn, but also he was one of the Misnagdim. He was a Misnagid. He was an opponent of the Hasidic movement, and a rather staunch opponent at that. But Rabbi Heschel obeys, goes across town, goes to the synagogue where the rabbi of Lublin is, a very nice place, and goes to the study hall and sits himself down. And sure enough, Rabbi Azriel, Ayznkop, is there, and they're about to start a trial, the Bezdin, the rabbinical court, 3 rabbis, and Rabbi Horowitz is the head of the court. He listens in, the plaintiff makes his case, the defendant makes his case. One of the rabbis is leaning to the plaintiff. One of the rabbis is leaning toward the defendant, and Rabbi Horowitz is the, Rabbi Azriel is the deciding vote. And Rabbi Heschel can tell that Rabbi Azriel Ayznkop was leaning toward the defendant's side. This got Rabbi Heschel very concerned because he remembered a Gemara, a passage in one of the tractates of the Talmud that was directly on point and favored the plaintiff. And it looked to him like Rabbi Azriel was going to make a terrible mistake. So he goes up, he goes to the library, he picks out the appropriate tractate of the Talmud, looks up the Gemara, and goes to the Bezdin in the middle of the trial. And he says, Rabbi Horowitz, please, would you please expound this passage in the Talmud? Rabbi Azriel was very upset. He says, this is neither the time nor place for me to do this. Stop interrupting. Rabbi Heschel was very insistent. Please, Rabbi, please explain this passage. Impatiently, Rabbi Azriel, Ayznkop, takes the Talmud, looks at the passage, looks at the Gemara, and immediately blanches visibly. He turns white. And he realizes that the Gemara, the ruling in the Gemara, clearly favors the plaintiff. Rabbi Horowitz closes the Talmud, hands it back to Rabbi Heschel. He says, I will explain this passage tomorrow. Rabbi Heschel goes back to evening prayers with the Seer of Lublin. The next morning, he hears that the ruling of the Bezdin, in fact, favored the plaintiff in accordance with the Talmud, in accordance with that Gemara in the tractate. The Seer of Lublin explains to Rabbi Heschel. He says, listen, these 2 people, this plaintiff and this defendant, have been coming back to earth 99 times and presented the same dispute over the many centuries to the various Baalei Din, the various rabbinical courts throughout the generations. And every time justice was thwarted because each and every Bezdin voted in favor of the defendant and not in favor of the plaintiff, as is clearly set out in the Talmud. The reason I sent you to the Rabbi of Lublin, to Rabbi Azriel, Ayznkop, was because I knew that you would help rectify the situation and bring justice to these two souls. We're going to be doing more videos along these lines, more stories of the Hasidic masters, more stories about the Seer of Lublin. Please come back, please watch, please learn, and until next time, on behalf of the Emunah Project, I'm Daniel, and thank you too much.